Hello, and welcome back. Always gotta make sure that OBS didn't crash. Oh, what to do. I promised Living Way I would help, but... No, I promised I'd help, so that's what I'll do. The archives are on the second floor of the main plaza, the east wing. Follow me. I suspect the Leopards are up to something, but if there is aught to be learned of the final days, I think it best we play along, for now at least. Up to the teleporter. Is it still working over here? The archives are right through this door, but it seems to be locked. I guess we'll just have to go and find whoever has the key. Drawing away enough. If you have aught else to tell us of the final days, you need only say so. We can ill afford to be wasting time here, as you well know. Did you yourselves not tell us we must act quickly? Yes, we did, but the moon was to be perfect paradise for the people of Atheris, and we're running out of time to make everything ready for their arrival. I hope you see the wonders we have to offer, but you found nothing but faults and flaws in our work. Only one of you saw our potential, so you others must be kept here. So that's Living Way's game. Run us about in circles, and failing that, lock us away so we couldn't put the plan at risk. Everyone except Boryonje. He understands what is at stake. We must, what must be done. Don't we have link pearls? I fear you must judge this giving way. Never have we decried the notion of using the moon as a means of escape. That said, my heart breaks at the thought of abandoning Atheris and her reflections to their doom. If there is a way to avert the final days, I wish to find it. We all do. We may fail, but our efforts would never be at the expense of your plans. But why would you take that risk? There's no room for ifs and maybes now. The people of Atheris will escape here to the moon, they'll be safe, and we'll finally get to see their happy, smiling faces. I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave. We just can't. Seems your lives are forfeit. I don't care if you have magic alchemic doodads hovering from a book. Do what you must, but try not to harm them. I'll be back in a moment. Don't do anything rash while I'm gone. If we dally, they'll overwhelm us with sheer numbers. I say we knock these ones out, split up, and make our way to the exit. Agreed. Let us reconvene where Aragos awaits outside. Oh, the Void Scent's gonna eat well of Loperate flesh. Hopefully you don't mind a bit of your soul being fed to one of the reflections here, that you said that you're not going to be bothering with. You can't even see the background anymore. The sight's in the way. Good, you're here. We must hurry to the Watcher's Palace and find Lord Gonje.
And what, pray tell, do we seek at the Watcher's Palace?
Oh, come off it, friend. You know full well why we're here. The time has come for you to return to Aetheris and help your brethren prepare for their journey here and beyond.
Forgive me, Living Way, but I cannot in good conscience proceed with this plan.
Huh? But what about the final days? The death and the doom? Oh, we have to hurry before it's too late.
Your unflagging commitment to your duty is endearing, to say the least.
Oh, bugger!
Be at ease. They bear you no grudge, nor do I. How could we, having come to understand your purpose?
And potentially damaging 7 of you permanently.
For millennia, you and yours worked tirelessly towards the singular purpose of this heavenly vessel's construction. An arduous feat by any measure. 'Tis clear you have spared no effort. Why, your very names are a testament to your dedication.
Our names? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at.
Names are an expression of the self, a declaration of one's hopes and aspirations. Your use of contemporary, uncomplicated nomenclature doth ensure clarity of purpose. There can be no doubt that your love for the people of Aetheris is boundless and pure.
Yes! Yes! A most mellifluous phrasing! We Loperids were born of Heideland's love for Aetheris. That shining, shimmering blue jewel, brightest star in the sky, brimming with life and possibilities. For as long as I can remember, I've toiled in anticipation of the day when this vessel might be needed. All I've ever wanted was to meet those she cherished so dearly, to serve and serve well. That goes for all of us, don't you see? So help us. Help us help them. Lead them here where we can keep them safe. If there's anything wrong, wrong with what we've built, we'll fix it. We'll make it right.
You can't fix people! We'll bet each other's throats with daggers and knives, soon enough.
Your works want not for repair. Yet there remaineth much for you to learn of men, and your own kin besides. Singing Way, thy name bespeaketh more than the simple marriage of rhythm and rhyme. The songs of Aetheris are beyond counting, and span the length and breadth of emotion. Maps are monuments to man's pioneering spirit, and his devotion to charting the furthest reaches of our star. Many have devoted their lifetimes to exploratory pursuits, to venture unto the highest mountains and the deepest oceans in search of unknown frontiers. And thou, my friend, I do not think we have met.
My name is Puddingway.
Puddingway? Yes, indeed. A name of deep and abiding significance, I'm sure. But one perhaps better communicated through delicious deeds than tasteless words. A judicious application of fey magics at a later juncture may be appropriate. And Living Way. 'Tis no easy feat to convey the significance of thy moniker. When I was a bookish boy, a dear friend of mine was fond of peppering me with questions as I read, to my occasional annoyance. One day, I posed to her a question of mine own. What doth it mean to live? After much contemplation, she proffered this answer, the anticipation of a half-read story's conclusion. The hope today's mistake may serve as tomorrow's lesson. The wish that a new acquaintance may one day call thee friend. She believed it to be all these moments and more.
I want to understand, but
I, too, still labor to find mine own answer. 'Twould be my pleasure to assist you and yours in embarking on a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. For thee. Ink as blue as the waters of Aetheris. Made in haste, though I assure thee, the quality has not suffered for it. The people need not be persuaded by honeyed words. Nay, I have faith they shall do what is right in due course. Until they do, I beg your patience, friends. And with that ink, let us fill the empty pages of Living Way's compendium. An open exchange of ideas will surely afford you all a better understanding of modern man, and with it, ideas for improvements and renovations. But more importantly, it shall empower us to together find a way forward.
I hope you're right. Thank you for this lovely gift.
There you have it. I shall remain with the Loporrits to ensure that all is in order. Though we must needs prepare for every eventuality, you would all agree that the evacuation of our star is a last resort. To accept failure is to accept the demise not only of our star, but that of Reen's, of all reflections, and the souls that call them home. Which is why I have every faith that you shall fight to the last, that such drastic measures may prove unnecessary.
Should the worst come to the worst, and I pray deeply that it won't, I'll take comfort in knowing preparations were made under your watchful eye.
Aye, thou mayest be assured that if calamity cometh, not a soul will be left behind. If being the operative term.
Yep, the flower has to chime in on something. No, not you! Go away! Your words hurt my eyes. I want to stab you with the flower.
I hate to interrupt, but I feel like I need to make amends for all the secrecy.
Think nothing of it. We haven't been the most gracious of guests. Do convey our apologies to Growingway and the others.
If they ever wake up, and they may have a craving for ether.
But of course! And when next we welcome more guests from Atheris, we'll have learned to be much more hospitable hosts. Oh, and circling back to the matter of inappropriate secrecy, we ought to discuss our benefactors.
Agreed. The Charlayan Forum, yes?
What? How did you know?
The more I heard, the more obvious it became. The Forum's aims align closely with those of your anonymous patrons. A telling coincidence would be an understatement. Though had we not taken it upon ourselves to peruse certain restricted tones in Labyrinthos, we might still be unaware of their plans. But let us continue this discussion upon our return. I dare say we have kept Alphino and the others waiting long enough.
Twas a relief to see Livingway was pleased with my gift of ink. To serve and serve well, though their knowledge may be lacking, their boundless love is a blessing without peer. It will be no easy task to prepare them for what must need be done, but gladly do I embrace this duty, even if it doth necessitate that we part ways for a time. Forgive me my absence, but I must utmost faith in you, and all fellow scions. What next I return to Atheris, I pray I find you all in good health and good spirits. Yes, we get ahead. The law puts in Orion J's capable hands. We needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Knowing now that to face their earthly collaborators, there is much to discuss with Alphino and the others. Let us return to the Tower of Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest. We must be prepared. Eesh. The slow walk. Not done because I wanted to. Done because I only had one hand on the controller and one hand scratching my back. I don't know why this is made in blood. Gods, I can scarcely believe we went to the moon and back, but we'll have time to reflect on that later. Right now, we need to head back to Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thorough, detailed report to Lucia. I'd like very much to know how everyone is getting on here as well. They're only just begun to treat the trampled prisoners when we were left. I share your curiosity, but Joining our allies of the final days is of greater importance. I speak not only of the contingent, of course. The heads of state of every nation must know what we have learned. We know not when or where or in what manner the final days will begin to manifest, and so we must see that everyone is prepared. Agreed, though we may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be sent into a panic. Not that anyone in a position of responsibility should need be told as much as it bears repeating. Anyway, first things first, Camp Broken Glass. It's good to see you all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope. Well, we're all doomed. We've done what we can for now, and believe me, we intend to tell you all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what became of Garlemald in our absence? We succeeded in subduing the tempered inside the Tower of Babel. We took many alive, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. That inclement conditions have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, and so we have petitioned the aid of the allied nations. Some are understandably hesitant to offer assistance, partially those that have been recently subject to imperial occupation. As said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. With the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering. Will all the tempered be relocated? Not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to attend to those whose treatment has begun, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. Julius is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Alphino and Alice's timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today. In light of recent developments, have the Alliance leaders come to any decisions regarding Garlemald? Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Allies to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower has vanished. For mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as you experienced in Thafnir. Those who were trapped within have been rescued and are receiving treatments to hasten their endeavors. The beast tribes are received instructions and the magics needed to cure the tempering. Master Matoya is no doubt thrilled the Porksy afforded her so many visitors. Yes, and they're grateful for her ongoing efforts, as we have those who are comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave to return to their homelands after the transfer of the tempered have been completed. Lucy and I will remain, along with a small force, to continue offering aid to those here in Garlemald. The Empire may be no more, but there are yet those who call these lands home. I believe that accounts very recent. So, what of the moon and the Lefroy? Doom! Final days, gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. There is still much we don't know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. Would you be willing to contact them in our stead? Yes, of course, I will send word forthwith. We'll also release your fellow Scions from their present duties, and they may return to Charlian. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. The apocalypse. Speaking of your fellow Scions, you will be happy to hear that Mistress Kryal, though still on the mend, has been moved to the Baldestrian Annex and given into Taru's care. Thank you. I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Let us be on our way then. One last thing, if I may. After your confrontation with Zodiark, you said Xenos took his leave, and in all likelihood he returned here to Garlemald. I have a mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. I suppose you're right. Dispatch good soldiers in pursuit of such a beast would be to send them to their deaths. Pray forget I entertained the notion. Which, on the subject of Xenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounced the Crown Prince and condemned his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects, and its continuous use serves only to hinder relations with foreign nations. For this reason, he has been declared as Xenos Viator Galvus, outpost and enemy of Garlemald. But Daniel is no more, and now his people turn against him. It seems he's not but his bloodthirst for his to keep him company. Better than an army to see it sated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray your safe return, or safe back to Charlian. Oh, that guy just wants his hat. There we go. Gotta get myself all adjusted and stuff. Yeah, once we get to the annex, I'll be taking a break. So I'll be pausing the recording. So I'll see you all when I get back. Okay, I'm back. I gave Pandora. I got some water, well, some ice for my water, an ice cream cup and a croissant, and visited Mew. Apparently, the thing around her neck isn't doing all that much to keep her dissuaded because she's able to take it off. We have been, my dad does put it back on, but while I was there, I was paying her, giving her butt scratches and scratching around her face, and she was just purring and doing biscuits. Yeah. Alright, now I got a Pandora next to me who's acting out. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah. Welcome back, Edgar. We were so, terribly worried about you. Though it is plain I have caused my own fair share of worry. And for that, I apologize. Heidelin called to me that day when you entered the Tower of Babel. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew at once she required a vessel to carry out her will. What came after feels like a dream. Barely remembered my body flowing through the life stream towards Garlemald. When I regained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite, exhausted of ether. So exhausted, in fact, I could only laugh, for it was in that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zot. Well, that I could laugh at a time like this, though we prevented Zodiac from being unleashed upon the world, I am curious to know what else took place there on the moon. Perhaps we should wait for the others to join us before you give your account. Let us reconvene in the main hall once they've arrived. Okay, so I've decided once I get done with the next dungeon and get to a satisfactory point to stop, I'll call it a day. So that will leave me with only 2 dungeons and 2 trials the next time I would be recording. No, wait a minute. Not 2. I would have 3. Because there's always one I always forget about. I always forget that there is, let's see, 3 plus... There's, I think, 6 dungeons and 3 trials. I think. I always end up forgetting. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Not at all. We understand you've been quite busy. Will you and Jay be joining us? Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though Edgar can explain why better than I. Final days as befell Amarat. And we are to escape via the moon, what of the source and its reflections. I have no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So how do we stop this? Unfortunately, we have no answer at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarat, the solution would be to alter the flow of ether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning zodiacs, sacrificing half the star's population in the doing. But it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. Which leaves us with the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days, a feat which even the Amaratines could not accomplish. Unfortunately, we found no clues and mere lamentum. There is still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. Final days were marked by the corruption of the Amaratis' creation magic, but we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us? If we know that much, perhaps we can draw some parallels from the events of the past, thereby form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we should start with the Forum then. Having worked with the Loporits in secret all this time, there is surely more than they can tell us. Forget that interruption, I have urgent news. The Forum are holding a public assembly in the plaza outside. Some sort of announcement. What is Father up to now? There's only one way to find out.
Order! Order, I say! I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Charlian, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens. So we have called for a public assembly. You may have heard rumors of the Telophoroi and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether. For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The End-Bearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties. But first...
Let me make sure the recording is working. Yeah, it's still going.
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
Master Leveilleur, if you would.
Very well. "270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself. She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom.
much like Njunkref's hope in ages past. It will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge. Not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the Great Exodus. For his impressive contributions and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Levelin to oversee this initiative.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale. We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave. I may look daggers at him, but I will neither speak nor draw them.
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Urianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Sharlayan, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence. This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do. We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Bold words call for bold action. And there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested. Wouldn't you agree? And having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
Shall we then? To the Annex, to prepare for tomorrow.
I'm just a bit tired right now. I might have to stop growing a bit earlier than I wish to, by how I'm feeling. I've pushed my heart a bit too hard to record as many as I have. Crowd tells me the foreign made a rather momentous announcement, so there's to be a great exodus, is there? I'm reminded of my narrow escape from the Isle of Val, the realization, the mixture of relief and regret after why me, I ask myself why me. Why us, why now, why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here, and we'll get through this together. And who knows, maybe my luck will rub off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much. But enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're exhausted. Your chamber awaits. A visitor's come knocking at your door. Whoever could it be? Here's the thing. Depending on who you say will appear on the other side of the door, and you will have a different conversation. When I did this, I chose Graha. And for Edgar, I came to the conclusion of these top three: Alphino, Alizé, or Thancred. Originally, it was going to be Alizé. But as I've come to more think about it and things, it is going to be Thancred. The one of the top three that have been with us for the longest.
Evening. I hoped you hadn't crawled beneath the covers just yet. If you'll indulge me for a moment, I have a favor to ask. Don't worry. Nothing desperate or dire, if that's what you were wondering. Not yet. You know, we may have quite literally entered our final days. The ancients went so far as to call it that for a reason. If so, then everything we did for Reen, for the first, will have been meaningless. And I can't accept that. I just can't. My mind won't allow for the possibility. And that could be a problem. When we're in the thick of it, I don't know if I've got it in me to be pragmatic this time. To run, even if running's the right choice. The only choice. So if you see me turning a blind eye to the harsh reality, beat some sense into me, would you? I trust you and the other Scions with my life. And I'd like to think the feeling is at least occasionally mutual. And I never forgive myself if my stubbornness put them in danger. Gods, listen to me. Beginning to sound like the father I never had. So, can I count on you to keep me in line? I can think of no one else more eminently qualified. Excellent. Now I can breathe a bit easier. Which isn't to say that I will, given what we're up against. Let's keep this little chat our secret. I'd rather not have anyone scolding us for burning the midnight oil.
Yeah, because we've known Thancred the second longest, the other ones being Alphino and Alizé, because we were in the cart with them when we went to Ul'dah. After that, we met Thancred. Short while earlier, in New Zealand. Oh, there's some characters we may recognize.
Thank the gods that tower is gone. The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Thank the Ilsebar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum, too. But is it true? They brought back tempered Garlean soldiers.
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
I see. Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Wanted to think about it for a while yet. They're to be looked after in Alagana for the time being.
Meanwhile, in Antarctica. So far, I've seen 1. Another 3.
Another day, another commission of paramount importance. Oh, what have we here? Hey, are you all right? Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more. The towers are gone, and the Garlean threat is abated. And yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much, much worse?
Well, with all that, we will be calling that an episode. And I will see you all in the next.